Hey, what's going on, guys? It's MJ, and today I'm coming at you with a video on the LT432, the new Tier 8 Soviet premium light tank, in which case most of you probably haven't seen it just because it was released in crates, so it definitely has a higher price tag than some of your other premiums. I just want to go over this tank because I've been seeing a lot of dislike and disappointment around this tank just because it wasn't what it was during tests, in which case it had insane armor and insane DPM. This tank definitely has been nerfed quite substantially, and I would place it in the balanced category. However, just because it's balanced and a premium doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy it. This tank definitely is a proper light tank through and through. It just has what I would call like the perfect light tank setup, in which case it's not meant to brawl, it's not meant to just take it to the enemy, it's not meant to do damage, it's just meant to spot, it's meant to stay hidden, and it's meant to move around the map and play passive aggressively. So you're going to see that in this game. You're going to see another weakness, in which case was just shown. I'm already down to 800 health out of 1200. I'm down to basically two-thirds of my health, in which case you just saw how poor the HP on this tank is. It's the lowest out of all your tier 8 light tanks, so it definitely is important to conserve your HP, which I will try to do this entire game. However, the HP conservation definitely comes in handy late on in the game, in which case you have to take our brawl scenario. But right now, you're just going to see I'm going to play very passive aggressively with this tank, which is definitely possible. As you just saw, the very high alpha of this tank of 280 alpha damage per shot definitely helps with the playstyle of this tank, just because if this tank had a DPM gun of like 200 alpha that I had to poke every 5 seconds, it definitely wouldn't work as well as this tank as its current iteration, just because with high DPM and low alpha means the more poking and the more exposure time you have to enemies, which is fine as long as you have the armor to back it up. However, as I said, this tank was nerfed substantially on the armor, so even the turret is basically, you can go through it like a hot knife through butter. So you definitely want a higher alpha gun on a tank with basically no armor. So right here, I'm going to see that the Emil and the T55 cleared the 252U on the other side, so they're going to pressure my tune mate. So what I'm going to do here is use the T28 as a meat shield. Like I said, you want to conserve your HP as long as possible, which we're going to do. We're going to use the nice HE of 350 alpha and clear the T49 in one shot, which is huge. And right here, we're just going to pressure up. Sen isn't going for us, which I'm willing to take that clear. 301, he's going to get a shot into us, but we're also going to get the clear on him, which is huge because any light tank out of the game makes it an easier game for me. So right here, we clear him, and we're going to back up with the insane reverse speed that this tank has of 30 kilometers an hour. We're going to let the T28 take the shots. Like I said, this tank is not a brawl tank. It is definitely, if I stayed where I was on that ridge, I would have died very quickly. So right here, I'm going to use the T28 as cover. While the other two tanks of the T28, the Emil and the VK168 focus the T28 Defender, I'm going to go for the T25 too, because he is the more dangerous target. He has the most DPM out of the tanks still alive. So I'm just going to get another shot into him, bring him down to one shot, once again reverse at that insane speed, and then get the clear on the T25 too, which leaves me in a 1v1 situation with the Emil, who is quite healthy of 901. I know that even if I know he has 2 shots left, but even if I were to bounce one and then get shot, it definitely wouldn't be good for me, just because, like I said, this tank has horrible DPM, so I definitely wouldn't be able to out-DPM the Emil's entire clip reload. So what I'm going to do is do what light tanks do best, and especially this one, is play damage for distance, play the passive game. I still have 3 minutes left on the clock, so I have all the time in the world to make the magic happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down all the way to the beach. We're going to spot up the Emil. He's not going to spot us. Like I said, insane camo rating, in which case we're not going to get spotted at this distance. So what I'm going to do, because I know what he's doing, he's going all the way to encounter cap. So I'm going to set up a shot of APCR with the extra shell velocity and get a nice high roll into the Emil of 350. Once again, that high alpha coming in clutch. So I know the Emil is basically a theoretical 3-shot, so what I know he's going into cat, which is great for me because I know exactly where he is, I know exactly what area he's in. So what I'm going to do is do what this tank does best, which is spot up and remain hidden. So right now I'm going to go up to the church, and I'm going to go up to the left bush just because there's two places in cap on Normandy in which tanks tend to be. There's the upper part, in which case I would have spotted him here because his turret would have been exposed next to those two houses. So he wasn't spotted, which allows me to know that he's playing the low ground. He's playing the hold down spot of cap, which means that I'm going to have to, you know, I guess dig him out and just play the camo game, in which case light tanks do very well. In which case I'm going to go up to this bush. I'm going to catch him lacking. We're going to get an AP shot into the turret of the ammo. And right here, we're going to play the light tank game, in which case I'm going to juke him out. I'm going to make him think that I'm rotating around to the left, in which case we just reset our camo, so I know that it's safe to go back to the bush that I was just in which case he shouldn't be looking at the bush, in which case he is not. He's looking the complete opposite way. We're going to get another shot in. I didn't risk HE just because I wanted to make sure that he was a full-fledged one-shot, in which case he is. He's going to start looking hold down to this bush because I poked it twice. What makes him think that I'll poke it 3 times, I don't know. But I know that he's going to try to just play hold down and look at that bush and just hard scope it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate over here, and you're going to see that the low silhouette of this tank allows me to remain unspotted all the way up to this bush. We poke and we get the clear. So definitely a solid game, in which case I showed how this tank can be played very, very effectively. Like I said, it is your pure light tank gameplay. It's not meant to do damage like a Vickers Light or FE301. It is meant to passive aggressively, get the shots in where it can, and just try to win it for your team. 4K damage, a mastery, and a Pools medal for getting 6 kills. Definitely carry on my part, along with my teammate Star, in which case I thank you for this game. But definitely a strong tank. Definitely a tank I wouldn't recommend to everybody. Definitely along the lines of a Unicum, Super Unicum, in which case, you know, if you are in that category, you should get this tank because it is definitely a very strong tank. I'm like running like 80% plus in this tank right now for a win rate. It is definitely strong. Like I said, it's not meant to do damage, so if your damage isn't up to par with some of your other tier 8 light tanks or even meds and heavies, don't feel bad about it. This tank, like I said, it's not meant to do damage. It's just meant to play like a pure light tank. But with that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.